I never had the classic struggle. I had faith. Denzel Washington. My friends, faith. If you will just stick with this each and every day, 10 to 15 minutes, that's all we ask. But that's the hardest thing to do, is to be consistent. Whether it's with your workouts, whether it's with your commitment to your business, to your family, to your religion, to whatever it is, people just can't seem to do it day in and day out. And for those who can, the world's your oyster. Let's jump into these charts. Markets just closed. We see stocks and gold are up. Bonds, Bitcoin are down. Let's jump first into the S&P 500. Both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100 up just over 0.5%. 0.54%, each one of them. We look at what our previous highs have been. We go back to the week beginning the 4th, 599, the week beginning the 11th, $600.17. Last week, that was the week beginning the 18th, 596.15. This week, 601.33, higher high. Just again, if we look at the Trump effect after the election, started moving up actually election day, shot up afterwards until, as we've said several times, the Monday after the election, that was the 11th. In the afternoon, slid sideways and down, dropped really strong on Friday the 15th, slid sideways and then started edging up last Thursday morning and is just continuing to move right back up. We had decent volume over the last 3 weeks, just barely had average volume last week. We'll see how this week goes. Remember, we do have Thanksgiving here in the States that will cause us to lose a market day. And around the holidays, a lot of times your volume's not going to be there. Now, there's a lot of automatic trading and other things that have changed things over the years, but typically, the big players are out. But we will be moving into, maybe a Santa rally. We shall see. But as we look at this week, we can see decent volume in the afternoon driving that market higher. So again, looks like market's just going to edge on up. The Qs, what's up with it? It's not reached the high that it reached previously. We see back on the 4th of November, 514.92. The week beginning the 11th of November, 515.58. Last week, 506.96. This week, 511.45. But it did reach down on both the half-day and the 2-day and bouncing off that weekly trend line, heading up. So it looks like stocks are trying to recover. What about bonds? Bonds had a big up day yesterday, blowing some of that off. As we get into this day. And again, this is just the first day of the latest 2-day candle. It will finish drawing tomorrow. But as we look at things, we can see that we did not reach the highs of yesterday, actually down 0.35%. Still, though, looks to me like this rally has ended with that big green up candle. Remember how our Heikin-Ashi candlesticks are, well, for those of you who know, for those of you who don't know, I'll put at the end of today's video for you our Heikin-Ashi candlestick training. We have 2 of them. And the first is probably the most popular Heikin-Ashi candlestick training on the web, but better than that is the second one. That's the one I'm going to put up today. Hasn't been around as long, but I think it's much better. And again, it helps you get the mindset as to what you're supposed to understand when you look at Heikin-Ashi candlesticks. You always want to keep in your mind what they are a calculation of. And this will help you do that so that you have the right frame of mind as you look at them. I'm told that Heikin-Ashi means average pace in Japanese, and that's what they're trying to show you. So we do see that end of the bottom, and appears to be moving up on bonds. We'll see how that continues to move. What about gold? Gold up a little bit for the day, 0.19% after a big down day on Monday. We can see it sort of flattening on Tuesday. What is happening? Well, it looks like we've got a lot of weight that's still pushing gold down. Of course, we had our classic rollover. We had an interim high. with average, a little bit above average volume. Then our favorite red spinning top with average higher than average volume. And then we had the rollover. Had a great down week back on the 11th. A doji last week, which means extreme indecision with all that volume. And then this week, looks like it's trying to move down a little more. So we'll keep our eye on things, see where gold goes. Lastly, what about Bitcoin? Bitcoin pulling back strong again. Did anybody, look at going short on Bitcoin on the short chart? No, probably not, because you're not trained to do that. But it has pulled back, and I like watching what Bitcoin tends to do on these charts. You don't really see much of a discernible pattern here on the 2-day chart. See a little bit more of one on this half-day chart. And again, those of you who are using any AI, you might feed that 4-day chart into your analysis and see if it gives you any stronger, better correlation to movement. The last time we traded Bitcoin, I want to think we shorted it back here and did really nicely in that little short position. So again, long Bitcoin here over the last few weeks has done quite well for you, but it does look like Bitcoin's pulling back. Now, it may be only for a short period of time. Do keep your eye on the half day, and then do pay close attention to the 2-day. We are approaching the weekly trend line, which we may or may not cross. We may get a bounce off, so do pay attention to that. Many times Bitcoin, particularly on this trend line these last few weeks, you can see how we've just continued to move up it. But pay attention as it's pulling back here. That is where we are as we end the day on Tuesday. Hope everyone in the States is looking forward to a happy Thanksgiving. Safe travels to all of you from my friends. I'm getting ready to get on the road myself. But of course, do I ever let you down? Never, unless I have that D variety of COVID that knocked me on my ass. But I think that was only for a day or two. But anyway, we'll be with you, God willing, each and every day these markets are open. God bless my friends. All the best from everyone at Charting Wealth.